Tonight we have with us guest speaker, Worshipful Inspector Jonathan Asis, the 713th Masonic District Grand Lodge of California. So if we can give him a warm welcome by either electronically raising your hand or giving a clap. Worshipful Inspector Jonathan Asis.
The topic that Brother Frank gave me is Masonic Charity. Actually, there's no secret at all, because well, it states in our rituals, but actually we are always doing on a daily basis. Okay, so probably if I will start, I wrote something when I was inspecting my projects in the field, so that it will be more organized rather than bursting my mind everywhere. But let me refresh you with this lines in our ritual. It says here, to relieve the distress is a duty incumbent on all men, but particularly on Masons, who are linked together by an indissoluble chain of sincere affection, to soothe the unhappy, to sympathize with their misfortunes, to compassionate their miseries, and to restore peace to their troubled mind, is the great aim we have in view. On this basis, we form our friendships and establish our connection. On this theme, we join promoting each other's welfare and rejoicing in each other's prosperity. Probably you know those lines. Those were taken on the lecture on the first degree. You gave me a little bit of just a little time, but I know I cannot expound this one so long. But charity is a very broad subject. Among those Masonic virtues practiced by the members of the craft, charity shines the brightest, so to speak. This is so because, among others, in our sworn duty to keep our worthy fraternal brethren, whether they may be found. Thus, when we first conferred the entered apprentice degree, the conferral master inculcated in our minds that the solemn duty to relieve our distressed worthy brethren under the following circumstances. Should you find a friend, particularly a worthy brother Mason, in as destitute as that in which you now stand, it is your indispensable duty to relieve him, so far as you can do so without serious injury to yourself. So I hope you will remember that after you were presented with the working tools, these were the lines the master imparted you. Also in the first degree lecture, the principal tenets of Freemasonry were discussed: brotherly love, relief, and truth. So in the lecture, the same degree, or in this, we were taught that faith, hope, and charity are more direct linked to the celestial lads above through that theological ladder which Jacob to his vision saw reaching from earth to heaven. And it says, but the greatest of this is charity. For our faith may be lost in sight, hope ends in fruition, but charity extends beyond the grave through the boundless realms of eternity. The importance of charity to us Masons was further underscored during the preambulation on the fellowcraft degree. I know, Brother Gil, you're not yet in the second degree, but that's fine. There's nothing hidden here. And it says in the preambulation, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries in all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestowed all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity wanteth not itself. It is not puffed, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not for her own. It is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things, and now abideth faith, hope, and charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. Undeniably, my brethren, the obligation that we took to the altar, at the altar, demand from us, from nothing less than that, the duty that aid and assist all distrustworthy brother master mason, or any brother, their widows and orphans, whether they may be found, and on certain conditions. Indeed, charity is the foundation of a true mason. It is action and the chief virtue and the first law of a mason. It reminds us that in our search for the truth in Masonic journey and in our quest of Masonic knowledge and wisdom, we must all be men of action and not merely of words. It teaches us to discharge our duties towards our fellow men because they are duties and expect nothing in return. To do unto every man that which we expect him to do unto us. That dignity and importance are attachment to work and those who perform it. In that, it is by our actions that we are put right with the great architect of the universe, not by faith or by hope alone. It also reminds us that knowledge without application is of little or no value. In his grand oration in 1950, entitled Freemasonry in Action by Worshipful George S. H. Harvey, proclaimed that charity is the preeminent virtue, the possession of which in its fullest signification marks the perfect Mason. Charity in the highest and noblest sense includes all other virtues, and in the exercise all right thought and actions are employed. But the thought of charity is too much associated with almsgiving, financial aid, and assistance. He also professed that charity in its true meaning is affection and love, an active as well as sentiment force in all that pertains of our moral existence. In the higher Masonic degrees, we are admonished to be charitable with the goods that the great architect of the universe gives us, keeping always in mind the poor and the needy. By generous giving, we liberate ourselves from the illusions that the accumulation of wealth is the purpose of life. Finally, let us not forget that even the poorest among us must practice the virtue of charity by giving part of his time, effort, and energy to assist not only his distressed worthy brother, but every fellow man who needs his assistance in his own little way and despite his own need and condition. As distinguished brother once said, he who is poor but gives part of his time gives part of himself. In that sense, he gives more than a rich man who gives but part of his wealth. Mother Teresa said, it's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving that matters. Thank you, brethren. I hope you will learn something from it.
I have a couple of quick questions.
Yes.
I know that Grand Lodge has adopted a philosophy over the last couple of years of specific charities that they prefer
Yeah.
when lodges donate. Do you want to expand on that a little bit for the brothers?
Okay. Usually they open the Masonic Foundation. Another thing is the Masonic homes, where some of the brethren who will not be able to support themselves, some of our funds are going there. So those are the main two things that Masonic charity divert our funds. So
Okay, that's great. And so I think there's also an opportunity for lodges to perhaps perform degrees at Masonic homes, and I
yeah,
think the
yeah.
brothers appreciate that. I think we've done that a while back, and maybe you can talk about that and what would it take for a lodge to be involved in that, and something for us to consider as a lodge visiting Masonic homes and performing a degree there.
Yeah. That's great. If you're planning to do that one, well, the lads is not as big. Have you been to the Masonic homes, lads?
No, that's why I've never been, and so I'm sure a lot of other brothers have never been.
Okay, the Masonic lads in Covina is probably as big as your recreation room where your pool table is. That's how big is the lads room. But furnitures are so good. So if you're planning to do a degree, well, we need to talk to the inspector and the master of the lots. And usually, yeah, they don't have any problem with that as long as the schedule permits them.
Oh, I thought it was something that they encouraged. So I thought
Yeah.
it, or how do they view it? Do they want that type of stuff? Because I thought it was not money charity, but like, showing up and, and performing a degree from different Masons. I thought that that's part of their enjoyment, no?
Oh yeah, because most members or all members there are coming from the Masonic home itself. So probably they want to see something different. So if you want to schedule something like that after this, all this mess about COVID, probably we can arrange that.
So how are they funded now? Is it strictly through lodges, or how do they? What's their primary way that they get money right now? Because as I understand it, maybe not all members know what it is. I'll give a brief description, and you can expand on it.
Yeah.
It's a place where if you're a Mason and you're 55 years or older,
Mhm.
you don't have, you can go there and live, and it's I understand it doesn't cost you anything. Is that right?
Uh, Not really. I think, Brother David.
Yeah, we have to turn over 3/4 of our assets
That's
if we're
correct.
going to go over there.
Yeah.
So that could be substantial, and that could include your stock accounts and your bank accounts and your real estate. It could be quite substantial. So there's quite a source of income right there from everybody applying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not going to really need your income because they're going to cover all your housing and your food and
It's a
everything.
good deal.
Yeah, just 1/4 will be left for your pocket expenses.
And
And that's
Frank,
pretty good. Good idea.
you have to be at least you have to be a master mason. You can't be below, right? Worshipful.
Yeah, you must be a master mason, but even the widows are welcome there to apply. The widows of a past master or masters. Yeah.
Okay. So a master mason or his wife or his wife.
Yeah.
Masonry can be a lot of fun. It sure is, but again, the purpose of tonight is to talk about Masonic Charities, and your the discussion that you started with, Worshipful Inspector, was very, very important. And as I get caught up in my life, we all get caught up in our lives, and we forget, that life is short. And what are we doing to help out our fellow mankind? And so we have to look and don't forget, what we're really here on the earth for. So it's in our ritual. The keys are there. And to expand a little bit, and so what you presented was very, very much appreciated. So, thank you for participating.
Well, charity is not only in a monetary form. Time, energy,
Yep.
those things.